Hello, hello, and welcome to this video on JavaScript. As I had said that I will start with map. So we have map here. We will study maps. They are also known as hash map or hash table. So before we start, please accept my apology because I did not make videos for 2 days. Only made math videos. So this video got delayed by 2 days. So my sincere apologies for that, and we start with HashMap. So HashMap is very useful data structure. Now, what is a HashMap? So a HashMap is a container which contains keys and values. One key is mapped to a value, and the way it is done is that you describe a hash function, and once you pass in a key, it gives you a unique hash of that key, and based on that you decide where the value goes. So hash functions are a subject of their own. There are many hash functions out there, and we will not go into detail of that. There are quite a few ways to implement a hash map. There is open addressing, there is closed addressing, there are probing, quadratic probing, and all that. And it might sound strange, but GCC implements a hash map using a red black tree. The rationale which GCC people give behind the red black tree hash map is that for sufficiently large values of n, the collisions are inevitable. And once the collisions start happening, the time complexity of HashMap degrades, and it degrades to up to log n. And the black tree also gives a log n. So if you are looking for the time complexity side of it, a red black tree is as good as any other hash function. The smaller values it might be bad, but of n. So that is one concern. Python uses open addressing. I'm not sure what JavaScript does. I have not looked into it. We will look into the HashMap implementation once with our Node.js, that how internally it is implemented. For the sake of this video, we will only look at the user side of it. So you can think of HashMap as a generalized array where instead of indexes, you have keys. And you give those keys in the array and you get values. So how do you create a hash map? So it is on the first line, I've created a new map and assign it to n. You can give a series of key value pairs in the constructor and it will create a hash map as well. So n is a hash map with two keys, 1 and 2. One has a value of n and other has a value of 2. You can create a copy by passing the one hash map to map constructor and a copy will be created for you. Suppose you have an object here, x1, y2, then you can create the map from the entries here. Okay, so object.entries, you can create a new map B. Now, if you want to get any keys value, you can call get function p.get and you pass in the key. Here we have passed x, so this will give us the value 1. P.size will tell you the size of the hash map. So at this moment the size will be 2. The number of key value pairs will be the size. You can add another value, key value pair, by calling the set function. It takes 2 arguments, key and value, and it will set it. At this moment, the hash map will contain 3 key value pairs and size will be 3. We can add another one. So if we set z is equal to 4, the value of 3 will be replaced by 4. If you get z here, you will get 4. As is the membership function. If you pass it a key, it will give you a Boolean result, true or false. That is, if the key is present, it will print true. If the key is not present, it will print false. You can delete a key value pair by calling delete function and supplying the key. And then we have hash function, so it should return false. The first hash will return true and the second one will return false. Clear will delete all the key value members and size will become 0. So you can change the set methods as well. We can create a new map and then we can call set in a chain, and by setting key value pairs. So at this moment the size will be 3. And if you try to get 2, you will get the number 2, and clear will clear it. Now note that the keys are identified or compared by identity, not by equality. So you can set two different empty objects as keys. You want as many empty objects as you can, because all empty objects are different. So it will set two different values, 1 and 2. And if you try to get by empty object, since it is a new identity, you won't get anything. It will be undefined. But if you iterate over the array using for of loop, you will get all keys and values. That is, you will get two empty objects with values 1 and 2. And then you can print keys in using spread operator, p.keys, p.values, p.entries. And you can iterate over for each array. Note that for each array will give value first and key later. Okay. So there is not much to it. You can see this in action. So I can run this as there is something wrong. Okay. So you can see the output. Particularly interesting are the empty object and the values. And when we iterate over it, those are given here. Okay. So there is not much to it as such. So it's a very simple data structure to use, not to design. Designing hash maps is really hard. Okay. And that is one of the reasons I am not going into depth, because going into depth of hash function is all about mostly one thing. How do you design your hash function? And that is basically a subject on its own, that how do you design a hash function. And that also includes a lot of cryptography and mathematics actually. And involving that kind of heavy mathematics is basically I will do that, but not in JavaScript videos. If you are more interested into hash maps, you should subscribe. You should go and watch my data structures using C. In that there is a video on a better hash map, where I have not described in detail, but you can see, I think there is a SIP hash function and there is a murmur3 hash function. And there is another one I don't recall. So 3 hash functions are implemented over there. And we'll see how complicated the implementation can be. And that also includes one of the testing links where we can go and test your hash function, like how good your hash function is. So if you want to match the output, you can take a screenshot of this code and compare this with this output. Okay, nothing complicated. So that's why this code is fairly simple. So I'll let you experiment with the code and see whether you got it right or not. So with this, I will end this video here, and in the next video we will look at the set data structure of JavaScript. So thanks a lot for watching the video. I hope that you have learned something useful here. So once again, thanks a lot for watching the video, and I'll see you again after 4 days with another video on JavaScript on sets. Till then, stay curious, keep learning, and most importantly, enjoy.